Hello, 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 sellers. Come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to be talking about winning in eBay search. Such a huge, huge, huge important topic. And it's an important topic whether you are new to eBay. And if you are, welcome, welcome. And my more experienced sellers. And also the topic of winning in eBay search can vary depending on the category. And I know a lot of you sell in a variety of categories. So what can work to stand out in eBay search in one category can be very different in another category. And eBay has the great honor of having just a huge amount of categories that you can sell in, which is what's so great. Hey, Vicki, good to see you. There's other platforms that are great, and they're more limited. eBay truly is the soup to nuts platform. You can sell everything from, TV remotes to antique lamps to vintage clothing to eBay motors to cars. I mean, you name it and you can sell it on eBay. And because of that, this is when you got to put on your seller cap, is you got to realize that different things work in different categories because it's different kinds of buyers in different categories, right? So it's sort of one set of buyers are doing things like, for instance, sporting cards, very, very popular category. Buyers in that category are looking for one set of things, as opposed to if you're shopping for, let's say, vintage clothing, it's different. You're listing right now, go, Vicki, go, Vicki, go. So that's why I wanted to bring this up, because sometimes people try to do a one size fits all on eBay listing. And it's just not really a good fit. And this is because of the fact that the platform has changed so much over the years. So practices that may have worked for you 10 or 15 years ago, and don't forget eBay's over 25 years old, just don't work anymore. And it's because there is such a range of things that are sold on eBay. And you have to realize that eBay is harvesting the data from the listings and they're feeding it to internet search. So again, things that might have worked or things that you used to do in listings might have even worked a year or two ago, and you're no longer getting the same, shall we say, bang for your buck. So that's why I wanted to bring this up. So eBay had what was called eBay Open. eBay Open is eBay's big seller event. It used to be an in-person event in Vegas, and then the last couple of years it was online, and this year it was what was called a hybrid event. So the majority of it was online. And then they did have live events in 3 cities on the last day. I live in New York City. You can tell from the backdrop here. And New York City was one of the places where they had a live event. It was in New York, Austin, and Los Angeles. So eBay does eBay Open, which we love. And then eBay releases the materials on video. It's on the eBay for Business YouTube channel. And what I do for myself is I go through every single video. I'm about a third of the way through right now. I go through them very meticulously. I take tons of notes and I listen. And I go through videos even on categories where I have never sold, like hard goods. I listen. In fact, I was just listening to the presentation done on eBay Canada. Why? Because I work with sellers in Canada. So I want to know what's going on for Canada. But anyway, I work my way through them step by step by step. It takes about 3 months for me to go through all of them. And I listen to every single one. And some of them I listen to multiple times. And one thing that has already jumped out at me, and this has been mentioned in several of the videos so far, and again, I'm only a third of the way through, eBay is bringing up the 3 pillars of eBay search again, which is wonderful to hear. And if you do not know what the 3 pillars of eBay search are, it is trust, relevancy, and value. And I bring this up because what I'm going to be talking about is the last one, value. And value is a hot topic, and people have very strong opinions on value. And I hear a lot of different things preached from different people to folks about value, because value is going to involve your pricing. That's what we're going to talk about today. And that's why I'm mentioning is that it really varies. So obviously when I'm looking at pricing and pricing that's attractive to buyers, for instance, in sporting cards, is different from eBay Motors, is different from clothing. And if I'm in clothing, It's going to be different for moderate price clothing than high-end, more luxury good clothing, than highly collectible vintage clothing. Okay, so just realize things are different, just like when you go into stores, like here in New York City. When I go into a Walmart or a Target, the pricing is different. The displays are different than if I go into a Bergdorf's or if I go into Saks Fifth Avenue. Okay, it's different clientele, it's different pricing, it's different inventory. So keep that in mind. And it's going to be depending on what you sell, even if you're a soup to nuts seller. So the first thing I want to mention is for my new sellers. So my new sellers, welcome. So when you're looking at how to price, one of the things that people fall into, and this can even be more experienced sellers sometimes, is particularly if you have a new tag item, or if you bought the item yourself in a store so you know how much you paid for it. And people will say to me, but Kathy, I paid $50 for this sweater or $80 for this jacket. So then they think, well, they're going to go on eBay and they're going to price it the same. It's a modern item. It's not a vintage item. Okay. Because I don't know about you, but I've had vintage items. In fact, it was a West clock that was in the original box. And I think the price on the box was like $4.99. That would have been a big mistake to price at a $4.99 because I think I got like $50 or $60 for it. It might have been more. You know what I mean? So if it's vintage stickers, definitely you don't want to, or if you do list it at that, it most likely will be sold in 2 minutes flat. Because an item is tagged a certain price, or because you paid a certain price in the store, does not mean it will sell for that price on eBay. Now, it might be highly desirable. It might have been a limited edition item in a store or for a line or for a designer, so that you paid $50 or $80 or whatever for it, and you can get much more. And if you can, yay. And the way you find that out is you're going to go on eBay and you're going to search. It's called advanced search. And then you're going to click, what I do is I click completed rather than sold. And the reason to click completed is you'll see what sold and what didn't sell. If it sold, the price is in green. If it didn't sell, the price is in red. All eBay sellers now have access to Terapeak, and you can use that to research the prices. It goes back further. Okay. So do not price something because of the price tag that is on the item. It could be really off and you could be leaving money on the table. That's why I bring it up. And the other thing is, and this has happened to me when I was out thrifting, it might be tagged a certain thing. If I remember correctly, it was a New York boutique item, and I think it was tagged like 110, 120, but it was not a brand that was in demand on eBay. In fact, I couldn't find it on eBay. It was a very, very niche boutique-y item. Now, I could have bought it and listed it and sort of considered it a long tail item because it was very boutique-y, but it was so, it just was not a brand that anybody really had heard of. Very much, I think, sort of like a mom and pop boutique. So for me, I passed on it because I was looking for things that I could flip a little faster. So just because it's tagged, 110, 90, 100, whatever it is, don't think you're going to get that. So always check the prices. Then the next thing is for my newer sellers so you go and let's say, I'm going to use my water bottle. So let's say you've got a wonderful, name brand water bottle and it's brand new, and you go on eBay and you see what they're selling for. They're selling for, I'm just going to make up a price. I haven't priced water bottles for a while. Let's say, $25 to $35 or $40, depending on the pattern. And realize for things like a water bottle, the pattern and the color is going to matter. Same thing with clothes, right? It could be the same brand, but don't forget the different patterns sell. So like red plaid can sell for one price, green plaid will sell for something else, paisley will sell for something else. So if you're pricing something that has a pattern, be careful because different patterns sell for different prices, and also size. Small will sell for one thing, large will sell for something else. So when you're doing your research, check patterns, check sizes, all of that. So you'll look at it and you go, okay, the green water bottles, name brand, sell for anything from like 25 to 35. And let's say yours is new with box and you're checking other new with box. So why the $10 range? Why the $15 range? New sellers, go and look at the ones that sold and see if you can figure it out. Look at the seller. Typically a more experienced seller, and more experienced, I mean like over 100, a couple hundred feedback. If I'm shopping, and this is where you got to put your think like a shopper hat on. I'm buying a water bottle, and yes, it's new and sealed in box. Okay. So it's not a vintage item. You know what I mean? We're not doing that. If it's somebody, let's say, who has 150 feedback, and they're charging $30. And then let's say I have a newer seller who maybe only has 4 feedback, and they're charging, let's say, $28. So it's only $2 cheaper. Who are you more likely to buy from? For $2, I'll likely go with the more experienced seller. And it's not to knock my newer seller, but I know with my more experienced seller, if there's any kind of issue, if there's any kind of problem, if there's a delay in shipping and I'm getting frustrated or whatever, that more experienced seller, they're used to the shipping system. They might, in all likelihood, pack a little better. Sometimes newer sellers are a little less experienced on packing. But for $2, I'm going to go with the more experienced seller. So for my newer sellers, and of course, you are diligently wrapping everything really well so that it will arrive in one piece. And if you don't know, you want to wrap things so if they're dropped 46 feet, they'll be okay. So even with something like a metal water bottle that isn't too fragile, I'm going to want to do a little cushioning. I don't want to just throw it in a poly mailer. You got to give them a reason to shop with you. That's why I'm bringing up value. I'm bringing up pricing. So if I go and I'm looking at the name brand water bottles, and I've got one, and it's new in box, and I see other sellers also selling it new in box, same color. Okay, so I'm not up against Paisley. I'm not up against Red. And they're selling theirs for, let's say, $35 with free shipping. I'm probably going to need to do something like $30 with free shipping. I've got to give them a reason to buy from me. And that's what I wanted to say for my newer sellers, is give them a reason to buy with you. Okay, and then you're also going to do like lots of great pictures, good title, description. And you might even put a line in your description. Hi, I'm new to eBay, but I'm committed to giving great customer service. Everything is wrapped with great care and shipped quickly. Okay, just like a line so that they realize that you're acknowledging that you're a newer seller, but you are absolutely going to take care of that buyer. Then I look at it also because I shop on eBay a lot. I'll give you a shot. What the heck? I'm here to encourage my wonderful new sellers. And then the other thing realize, new wonderful sellers, is, especially as we get close to holidays, but it happens when people are shopping for birthdays and stuff too. I also look at the location. I was actually buying a mug the other day for my husband. He broke his favorite grandfather mug. So I went on eBay to find him a replacement because he really wanted this particular mug. And it was 2 sellers. One was like Indiana, Minnesota, right around in there. And another one was Pennsylvania. I'm in New York. So Pennsylvania was much closer. And Pennsylvania, again, it was like about $2 more expensive from Pennsylvania, but he really wanted the mug quickly. Both sellers were around the same feedback. Both sellers were shipping priority. I went with Pennsylvania, even though it was $1 or $2 more because they're closer. So realize people do know how to sort by distance. And if they want something quickly, like if I'm in New York, I'm going to buy from somebody in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. If I was, let's say, like in Illinois, and I need something right away, I'm looking for somebody, Illinois, Indiana, that general area, Michigan. So realize, and that's something you don't control. I mean, you are where you are, but realize sometimes you go, wow, why did that sell for a little bit more? There was somebody else selling it and they were less than me, but mine sold. It can be location. Okay, so consider that. But my new sellers, if you are selling something that is very similar, so let's say I'm selling a green bottle and I'm the only green bottle, but there's red and there's blue bottles. Just take a look at the price. If the red and the blue bottles are all like around $30, $35, again, my green bottle needs to be, even though I am the only one, I need to be competitive. And again, maybe a little less to entice them to buy the green bottle. Now, my more experienced sellers, so back to the water bottle, okay, is I can go higher. So if you look and you're looking at your competitors and they're all around 100, 150 feedback, and let's say you have 500 or 600 feedback or more, you can probably price higher. Why? Because you have more feedback. You just have more and more of a track record, okay? So just consider that is that you don't always have to fight over the dollars, particularly when you do start to get more feedback, you can actually go a little higher. Okay, so consider that. And then the other thing to attract the sales, because we're talking about value and pricing, is don't forget to give people more than one shipping option, again, particularly going into the holidays. So let's say I'm doing free shipping, priority mail, offer them paid upgrade to express. They're paying for it. Because again, like the grandfather mug, if I had been really in a rush and my husband was really, I want it right now, to the point of like, yes, he's willing to pay for, excuse me, $30 shipping. You know, people will do it. If they are really in a rush, they will pay for express mail. So be sure to offer that to them. Okay. So that's that. Now, let's say you're pricing a very unique collectible item, and this does happen, right? Because we're selling soup to nuts, and sometimes you have a very unusual item, home decor, clothing, could be Christmas ornaments. Sometimes you'll get really unusual Christmas ornaments, other holiday decor. And let's say you're searching, and you just don't see anything like it. So just look at the if you can, if there's a brand or a style, sometimes there'll be a style, like you'll look at it and it's, I'm trying to think of something. It's very minimalist, or it's very ornate. So then sometimes you can search that, like ornate Christmas ornament or highly embellished Christmas sweater, you know, that kind of thing. So even if it may not be the brand, you can search for the style and see if you get anything. And the other thing when you're researching prices, besides searching on eBay and searching advanced search and searching with Therapy, one place that I love to go when I'm researching for vintage is go and look on Etsy, because there's a lot of cool vintage stuff on Etsy. And sometimes I can find something similar on Etsy and get an idea of pricing and stuff. And that can be helpful. And the other place to look, besides looking on Etsy, is to look on Pinterest. And Pinterest, because it's a very, very visual search engine, and Pinterest is a search engine. The way we have Google and the web, Pinterest is a search engine. People use Pinterest to discover things, to shop, to decorate. So Pinterest can be a great site to look on when you're doing research on vintage and collectibles. But when you're searching there, same thing on Etsy, you really got to look at the item and think, this is the think like a buyer, and think, what descriptive words describe this? Is it vivid, the color? Is it very bright? Is it very embellished? Is there a lot of sequence? Is it oversized, you know, the shirt or the top or the dress or whatever? Does it have a distinctive print? Is there any kind of label on it, any kind of vintage label that perhaps I could search that way? But really look at it to think about, what is this? How would I describe this? And don't forget to, especially when we're looking at home decor and collectibles, what is the function of this? What does it do? Is it a salt and pepper shaker? Is it a creamer? Is it a sugar bowl? I mean, I'm thinking of you know, spoons. There's a lot of different kinds of spoons, if you didn't know that, right? There's demitasse spoons and teaspoons. So really look at it and think about what it is. And if you're not sure, then you just look at the design. Is it scrolly? Is it have an animal? So it could be like spoon with a duck on it, you know, that kind of thing. But Etsy and Pinterest are super helpful, particularly when you're looking to try and get an idea of what certain collectibles and vintage items are, and to get an idea on the pricing, because that's what you're after. But my new sellers is, again, just because it's tagged a certain thing doesn't mean that's the price. And also it's not just what it's listed for, because that could be another thing on eBay. You'll go on eBay and you'll go, you know, they're all $90. This is so great. I got a $90 thing. That's why you want to click completed. But does it sell for $90? It may not. It sells for $50. It sells for $40, or they don't sell at all, right? And then we go and check Therapy because it gives me more data. And same thing for my more experienced sellers, okay? Which is, okay, you've got the green. Oh, darn it, the green just doesn't sell. What sells is the red and the blue. Or yay, I have the red and the blue, it sells. Yay, because the red and the green really sell, and the blue doesn't sell, or whatever. But on pricing is when you're new, you got to give people a reason to be shopping with you. And when you are more experienced, yay, is you can go higher, because people are willing to pay for that, because you do have the experience. And with that, it ups the trust factor. Because remember, with eBay, what are the 3 pillars of search? Trust, relevancy, and value. Okay. So right now is fall winter shopping, and there's a lot going on, right? So we've got Halloween going on, then we go straight into Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. And throughout all that, there's home decor that's being bought, there's clothing that's being bought, people are traveling, people are camping, people are fishing. There's a lot of different things going on. So this is actually a really good season to be selling on eBay with a lot of different things that are in demand. And because of that, sometimes you just forget things that are in demand because you're used to what you're using or what you're buying, and you forget other things that people really are looking to buy right now and can bring in really nice money for you. So what I have done is I have put together a fall and winter essential product guide, and this is completely free. And just hop on my website, iloveToBeselling.com, and grab this. And it's literally pages and pages and pages and pages of items that you can source that might be in that pile of unlisted inventory that you can get busy listing. But these are products that are in demand now that you can get up and get listed. And then with the tips that I gave you on pricing, to be pricing it so they get sold. So hop over to my website, iloveToBeselling.com, and grab Fall Winter Essential Product Guide. It's completely free. It's my gift to you, and enjoy. And remember the 3 pillars of eBay search: trust, relevancy, and value. Enjoy, everybody. I'm Kathy, and I love to be selling. Bye-bye, everybody.